Project. The Human Thriving Project is a growing global movement of holistic culture and practice that is slowly supporting human beings to thrive individually and collectively, to thrive physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, and in the fabric of our most meaningful relationships. That's what the Human Thriving Project is all about. We are cultivating unique approaches to meeting human needs that are not profit based approaches, that are service based, philanthropic approaches, but not as in charity, but as in just not interested in generating profit as a measure of an amount of money that's extracted from an interaction, an economic interaction. But we can go deeper into that. And if you want to know more about that, please check out some of my videos because I go deeply into some of these revolutionary concepts and some of my other contemplations. But today we're going to contemplate the 24th gene key, which is the shadow of addiction. And it's the shadow of the siddhi of silence, the divine frequency of silence, addiction and silence as two polarities, love and fear, and then the gift of invention that springs up when we substantively face our addictions. We call upon that deep silence. We become comfortable in the silence. And so we're no longer driven by addiction. And we can invent new habits. We can invent new ways of tending to our needs in the world. And so this is a simple and really beautiful triad of universal human experiences. Yeah. We all have some version of our experience with the shadow of addiction. And that would be our own addictions. That would be the addictions of the people around us. That could be chemical addiction, gambling, shopping, sex, romantic, work. So many things that we do addictively. It's a pattern, it's a habit that we keep doing long after we realize that it's no good for us. It's really simple. It's really a simple definition of the word addiction. It's a pattern you keep doing even after you are 100% certain that it's not good for you. Right? It's a thing that it's a thing you can't stop yourself from doing, or you haven't yet. Yeah. It's a what we call a degenerative pattern. There are two kinds of patterns in the universe. There are regenerative patterns, which is a win-win-win, which leaves us better than it found us and leaves the world more beautiful than it found it. Regenerative patterns make things better. They make humans thrive more. They have positive consequences. Degenerative patterns are patterns that lead us to more suffering, that lead us to dis-ease, that lead us to sickness, that lead us to conflict, that patterns that lead to destruction or the loss of life. And so we're here in this today's contemplation to really look honestly at our lives, our personal lives, at where addiction is present. Addiction to our phones, to our screens, addiction to like having the last word, you know, addiction to like the drama of being in relationship and being in conflict with somebody, this addiction to this like chemistry, texting back and forth, right? And so the invitation here is, as you're with me, as you're considering what I'm saying, if you're interested in this topic and you want to contemplate some things you may never have thought of before, is that you do that while you're moving your body, that your spine stays alive, that your breath deepens with me, that you're physically engaged and present as we are considering these universal human themes. And the theme of silence, a great deal of addiction is the fear of silence, of the gap, the spot in between. And we grasp at something when we're threatened with a sense of space or silence. So I want to invite us to lean into that threat and take 5 deep breaths together, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Ah, there's one. Let out a little sigh. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Ah, in through the nose. Thank you, life. And out through the mouth. Ah, 2 more just like that. Thank you, life. Oh, I love you, life. Last one, deepest one yet. We'll hold it at the top for just a moment. Thank you. Lift your arms up and open your heart. Take another sip. Smile. Let yourself wiggle and jiggle. Maybe you get a little lightheaded. Just let it get soft and drippy. Yeah. Those 5 deep breaths. So it's such a simple pattern. And it's an interruption of our most people's addiction to panting, this unconscious breath pattern that keeps us stuck in a state of anxiety, in a state of like constantly seeking. What am I? But when we take those deep breaths in through the nose, out through the voice, we're interrupting the fight or flight pattern in our body. We are giving our nervous system an opportunity to settle and an opportunity to run a more regenerative pattern. This is the core of the difference between degenerative and regenerative. There's a regenerative breath pattern, which is typically deeper, more conscious, more drop down into the belly. The more we have this kind of breath underneath us, the more we smile at challenges, the more we meet people with grace, the more we meet conflict with more groundedness, the more we meet the things that don't go our way with a little more patience and creativity. And when we're not breathing, when we're panting, when we're caught up in the breath pattern of our society, then then we're typically more anxious. It's a degenerative pattern, right? This loving, long, deep breath is a regenerative pattern, and the anxious breath is a degenerative pattern. The thing about the anxious breath is that it makes you really easy to sell shit to. It makes you an easy target for social media manipulation, for marketing. When you're dissatisfied, when you're anxious, when you're fearful, then you're easier to manipulate into buying things and making profits. And so we've been well trained by generations of homogenized media to behave in certain ways, homogenized education, homogenized media, all this homogeneous culture that has trained us violently to pant, to not have a very regenerative breath pattern. And if you get anything out of our contemplation of addiction today, oh, let it be this, that when you take 5 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth, you ground your nervous system and make whatever you're about to do more beautiful. And you give yourself an opportunity to pause in that silence where the tendency is to fill the silence with a habit, with scrolling on social media or a cigarette or a drink or a bump or um, some porn or whatever it is that we tend to fill our silences with. We want to reach for that. But the breath is a way to help train the nervous system in being more comfortable slowing down. And when you slow down, amazingly, you find that you're less anxious. You find that you're less grasping at things that aren't here and you're more appreciating the things that are here. That's why underneath every one of these breaths that I breathe is a silent gratitude. Thank you. Whatever my attention is falling upon, whether it's a person, whether it's MH2731 over here, I put my attention on you and I just give thanks for your existence. Thank you. And as I exhale, I just resonate love. I love you. Oh, thank you. I love you. Whatever it is I meet, I have found that there's no more delightful attitude to hold than gratitude and love. Whether it's a beloved, whether it's a partner, whether it's a friend, whether it's a family member I haven't seen in a long time, whether it's somebody who has done me dirty, somebody who may be even angry with me or speaking unkind words to me. Now, my ability to be in gratitude and love doesn't exclude my capacity to set firm boundaries, I'll tell you. But it makes those boundaries more gracious. And it keeps me from getting caught up in the drama because I'm just over here loving you. And if you need to be caught up in that, you can. I love you. Thank you. I love you. If there's something I've actually done that's caused harm, I'm available to hear it. But this is this is about sanity in wild times. These are wild times we're living in. Democracy is crumbling in America. the the ecosystems are collapsing. Some really gnarly thresholds are being crossed right now politically and at human rights level and the violence of the world in so many ways. We are we have more reasons to be addicted than we ever did and more addictive things being sold to us than we ever have. We have more opportunities to be addicted than we ever have. Oh, so I want to invite us, if you're sitting down or standing up, just shake a little, shake your shoulders, take a deep breath, let your jaw relax around that recognition that the world is a lot right now. Your number one job is to take care of your nervous system first so that you can meet all of that with resource, regeneratively, with breath, with invention instead of addiction. Invention instead of addiction, right? We're cultivating new habits because if we're going to change this whole situation, we're going to need to do something different. We can't expect to keep doing the same shit and see change. And holistic wellness is like this. The whole pharmaceutical industry is kind of founded on the idea that I can just give you this pill and you can just keep doing whatever you want to do and you'll feel better. You don't have to do any changing. We'll just give you this little substance to make you feel better. Oh, by the way, this is the list of its drawbacks, right? But holistic medicine, holistic practice is about changing your behavior. When you change your behavior, then your results change. When you're willing to change little behaviors like taking 5 deep breaths is twice a day. If you do that, if you change that one behavior, if you change your breath behavior twice a day for 5 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth, you are going to see changes in your relationships. You're going to see changes in your inner sense of wellness. You're going to see changes in your physiology eventually. You're going to see changes in your the beauty of your surroundings. You're going to have such different results, so many unique and different results just by changing this one little habit, the way you breathe. It's at the root of everything. It's at the core of the transformation that we are undergoing as a species. It's at the core of this evolutionary threshold that is upon us. And the evolutionary threshold is an embodied evolution. We are embodying our epigenetics, embodied epigenetics. We are sending regenerative signals into our cellular structure through the movement of the body. The body doesn't respond as well to verbal commands because we made words up, but we didn't make movement up. The body's language is movement and sensation and emotion. And so when we speak to the body in the language of the body, we invite the body to remember its own regenerative design. Because the body wasn't designed to survive, it's designed to thrive. Our body is designed to thrive. Our species is designed to flourish, not to survive. No human was invented by Earth just to survive. That's not the point. The point is more and more beautiful forms of thriving on the earth, diverse forms of thriving. So your system is designed to thrive, but we have incredibly poor training in this regard in our society and in our age. And so, unfortunately, it's become very profitable to violently train humans to be dependent on pharmaceuticals and on all these economic and political structures. And so, we have, as a species, kind of given up a lot of our freedom and our right to thrive for this sense of safety that we perceive from being dependent that way. But our holistic practice is about thriving, is about setting goals, not just of like hurting less, but of feeling really fucking good all day, every day. You can feel really good all day, every day. It is within your design. It's just not within the parameters of your current programming. Your current programming has these addictive patterns baked into it that we learn from our family, from our culture, from our society. There are all these culturally sanctioned addictions, and then there are these culturally taboo addictions, and they all have their sort of flavors and different kinds of folks who are more drawn to them. But everybody's addicted to something, even if it's moralization or some sort of religiosity. That can be a very much a damaging addiction to judge others as unworthy of God's grace or whatever it is because they're not as morally intact as you are, right? The spiritual ones are the ones who tend to deny their addictions the most successfully. Oh, but one of the things that we've become addicted to is being outside of our bodies with our attention projected into some screen or some entertainment. And so I'm not here to entertain as much as I'm here to entrain. Hopefully our spines are in training to one another and you're already feeling a little bit more movement and mobility in your spine behind your heart. You're just letting your shoulders just wiggle a little bit. You're letting yourself breathe a little deeper. You're letting yourself sigh on the exhale. And all of this is just helping to lower the cortisol in your system, increase serotonin in your system, and bring your awareness back into the body where your awareness is needed most. Because none of the words that I say here are going to have nearly as much effect on you as what you do while I'm saying them, as how you're breathing while you're listening, as whether you're willing to undulate your spine a little bit and try some new movement patterns, just feeling the feeling of the movement, feeling the way your breath touches into your body. The mind just keeps wanting answers to things and it's addicted to answers. It's addicted to reasons. And the mind's reasons will never fix the pattern at its root. The mind is a very superficial level of our experience. It's the youngest of our faculties in a certain way, the most immature. But we can shift these patterns physically. We can shift something physically. When you change the way you move, you change the way you think and feel. If you're stuck, feeling in a stuck pattern in your life, you're probably embodying that stuck pattern in a very physical way, either regularly through posture or at work. And so, if you've been feeling stuck, what would happen if you got up and started moving your body in a different way? It doesn't matter how you move it. What matters is that it's a different pattern than you're used to. Because when you break the pattern up and you interrupt the addictive pattern that's running, then you have a chance of replacing that pattern with something more regenerative. So we're just here swinging our arms, doing something different. What I do here with this empty arm practice is I'm allowing no musculature in the arms to be engaged. All of the swinging is happening from my waist. It's all happening from here. So all the arm movement is generated from my spine. This is what allows me to feel the release of the passive tension that can build up and calcify as a sense of victim identity in the world. So I hope that you found something nourishing here. And I am going to bid you adieu with 5 deep breaths. Thank you, life. I love you, life. Oh, thank you, friends. I love you, friends. Oh, thank you, my beautiful body. I love you, my beautiful body. Thank you, my mama. I love you, mama. Thank you, papa. Love you, papa. And please check out the humanthrivingproject.org and join us on Zoom for some of these regenerative practices when you're ready to really transform your life.